Hey everyone, the Game Piece here, and today is the first video in a new competitive series that I'll be doing. I'm going to be going into the different types of TEMTEM that you should consider using in competitive, what moves to use, and what TV builds you should be using. So let's get into it. Today I'm going to give you a competitive analysis of the TEMTEM Barnshe. Barnshe is a mental and wind TEMTEM that can be found extremely early in the game on the top floor of the Windward Fort with a 5% spawn rate. This TEMTEM is going to be great at taking out neutral, melee, and toxic types, but will take big hits from digital, crystal, and especially electric type attacks with 4 times weakness to electric. And later on I'm going to be going into why having that electric weakness may actually be a benefit, so stay tuned for that. Now, first off, on the grand scheme of things, I'm going to be placing Barnshe on the A tier. And this tier list that I have here is going to be growing with every competitive analysis that we do, so be sure to stay tuned as we go along. Now, let's get into my reasoning for this placement. To start, Barnshe is the fastest user of bamboozle in the entire game. Now, bamboozle is a move that makes the TEMTEM targeted avoid the next move directed at it, so this is crazy beneficial for avoiding attacks as Barnshe, and also beneficial if you want to use it on your partner TEMTEM to make sure that they avoid an incoming attack. Barnshe's speed is a little bit on the slower side at 65 base speed, but being the fastest bamboozle user will allow you to outspeed various threats and pull off a faster shield for your partner TEMTEM too versus the other bamboozle TEMs. This will allow your partner TEMTEM to get a free turn of attacking or also a free turn to set up and boost its stats. But that 4 times electric weakness, you're saying, well, here's why I said that the electric weakness might be a good thing. So you have the option of adding a Nesla to your team. Now, Nesla has the trait Electric Synthesize, which allows it to absorb any incoming electric attack and heal yourself. This is going to be crazy good for baiting electric moves if you want to heal up your Nesla. What you can do is bait the electric move with your Barnshe, swap in Nesla, and heal up the damage. Nesla does have good setup potential with sparks and also some pretty good support options, but I will be covering Nesla in depth for another video. So having a core TEMTEM to pair with Barnshe to set up with the use of bamboozle is going to be an excellent strategy, and if Nesla can come in and cover that TEMTEM's overall weaknesses, that will make that core even better. So you might be wondering, who should I be partnering Barnshe up with, huh? Well, my absolute TEMTEM of choice to use with Barnshe is Gialis. Bamboozling will allow Gialis to set up multiple heat ups, which is a 2-stage attack boosting move on Gialis, which already has the 3rd best base attack in the entire game. Or you can use it to just shield Gialis from damage while it goes out and attacks. Gialis will outspeed Barnshe's bamboozles though, so keep that in mind when using this. The other TEMTEM who I'd pair with Barnshe is Mastiha Nei. Now, Mastiha Nei is actually slower overall than Barnshe, so this means bamboozle will have the option of shielding Mastiha Nei before it gets off its setup move, which is called Rage. And this is super important to Mastiha Nei's Rage because Rage boosts the attack 2 stages, but it also lowers the defense 2 stages, making it pretty vulnerable to any physical attacks. But bamboozling before you set up is going to allow Mastiha Nei to set up without worrying about getting hit by attack. Now, Mastiha Nei is also on a bit of the slower side to sweep, but you also have other support options that Barnshe can use to get around this. One of these options is a move called Turbo Choreography. This move will increase the speed stages of the 2 TEMTEM on your field by 2 stages. This move is also unique in that it has a very high priority, meaning that instead of using Barnshe's usual speed, it will move at 1.75 times the speed of Barnshe. Meaning that assuming you have a max level, perfect SV in speed and 500 TV points invested, you're going to be moving at 234 speed instead of 134, which is quite the jump. Not to mention the speed buff will apply instantly to Mastiha Nei, allowing it to jump to a higher speed tier after already boosting its attack with Rage, and it'll allow it to keep sweeping. Barnshe also does have a decent special attack stat at 75 base power and access to some really powerful stab moves. Stab moves are same type attack bonus moves, so if you use a move with the same type as the TEMTEM you're using, they gain a 50% damage boost. So Barnshe has access to Tornado, a single target special type wind move with 135 base damage, which is one of the strongest in the entire game, as well as access to Beta Burst through Breeding, which is a 100 base power special type mental move. And these moves are going to be very good for dealing with the various neutral, melee, and toxic type TEMTEM that you come across. So really, as you can see, you have the option of using Barnshe both as a support TEMTEM, or you can go full out and be an attacker. So here's 2 sample movesets that I put together for Barnshe using TEMTEAM, which is a pretty handy TEMTEM team builder application. Now the first set here is an offensive Barnshe set. You maximize its speed and special attack attack with 500 TV points in each, allowing it to outspeed threats with bamboozle if necessary. And also you have the option to turn 1 beta burst here and use hypoxia, which are both single target moves that you'll be able to use on the first turn. Tornado is also on this moveset. It is a 1-hold move, but I've placed it on this moveset because Tornado does have very high priority, meaning it will also be moving at 234 speed, assuming everything is maxed out. This Barnshee does have the trait Air Specialist, which boosts the power of wind moves by 10%, and it also gains an additional 10% power of wind moves by having the gear, the hand fan, equipped. This means that with the 50% stab boost, you are looking at a 70% overall damage gain when using wind moves, which is nothing to scoff at. And then here is a more supporting Barnshee set. This one is maxed out in HP and speed for fast bamboozles and also for survivability. Energy manipulation is there to apply pressure on various Temtem that are walls, or if you want to break a Temtem that is otherwise sweeping you. And Lullaby is used after boosting the Tem's speed to put the opposing Tem to sleep and sweep away. A great strategy to use here is open with Barnshee and your partner Tem, use Bamboozle into Turbo Choreography to boost its speed, and then Lullaby the opposing team to avoid damage and simultaneously take out the enemy Temtem with your boosted partner. This is especially good, I would say, for Mastiha Nei. It also has the Sweatband item to restore some stamina every turn due to the high costs of Turbo Choreography and Lullaby. Now, what are the Temtem that you should look out for on the opposing team that are big threats to Barnshee? Obviously, any electric type you're going to want to avoid, otherwise you can use the strategy of adding a Nestla to your team with the electric synthesize ability. I'm sure they will add more Temtem in the future with electric synthesize too, so Nestla probably won't be your only option going forward, but I would say Gazuma, the electric and wind type, is going to be your biggest threat to look out for here as far as electric types go. Otherwise, you need to be looking out for Gialis, who with its crystal moves can easily take out Barnshee because Barnshee does have some pretty frail defense, but Valash and Mudrid are also some pretty heavy hitting crystal Temtem with physical crystal type moves, so I would say to watch out for those as well, although those I would say are less common than Gialis is. Overall, I think that Barnshee is a very solid Temtem capable of doing multiple things. You have support options or all-out attacking options, but I personally do prefer the more supportive Barnshee, but time will tell what new tricks get added to this Temtem. I hope that you learned something from this video. If there's any specific Temtem that you wish for me to cover in an in-depth competitive format, please don't hesitate to let me know. I'm going to try to cover the most popular ones first, but I do plan to do them all eventually. So if you enjoyed the video, everyone, be sure to give a like and subscribe for more Temtem guides and content like this, as well as more MMORPG content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.